This is the UK's average monthly salary in 2023, £1,950, and this is the UK's average cost of living in 2023, £2,242. This means for every new month, people go almost £300 into debt to pay their bills. And what's worse is that the cost of living will keep increasing, and you know this really well, and that's why you're trying your best to look for ways to make more money and become financially free. Now, I've been there and I know how it feels. For years, I worked in a job that made me miserable. I saw my colleagues more than my own family and felt like I was just a number. But one day I decided that enough was enough. I wanted to take control of my life and find a way to make more money that would give me financial freedom and happiness. I've now been able to turn my small income into a six-figure business. I have learned a lot along the way, and today I'm going to share all my secrets with you. See, I moved to the UK with my parents in 2010, and I hardly knew English at all and was always the silent kid as I didn't know how to speak English properly. But slowly I started learning, and don't get me wrong, I was still performing below average till one day I thought the only way I'm going to move forward is through hard work. I was never going to let anyone outwork me, and with this mindset I ended up with really good grades before I left year 13. Then the gates of heaven opened for me and I got into City University of London. Yes, it was a massive accomplishment for me because it was from zero English to get into a great university. Now fast forwarding a few years later, this was my life. I was doing a 9 to 5, making £1,500 a month. Had gas bills, electricity bills, council tax bills, and my own expenses to pay for. By the time my salary came into my bank account, more than half of it would be already gone in the first week. And by the end of the month, I'll be back to zero in my bank. I didn't even make enough to help my parents with their mortgage. I was waking up every day, constantly repeating the process of sleeping, working, sleeping, working. I had become a slave to the system. And like most people, I had no choice to leave my job as I still had my bills to pay. So I had to force myself to keep going so I could keep my family happy. The idea of starting a business in my family was seen as a way to fail in life. But I knew if I wanted to upgrade my income and life, then I have to be the first one in my family to make the change. So I jumped on YouTube like everyone does and started to look for ways to become financially free. And straight away, I was bombarded with so many different ways to escape the rat race and become financially free. But there was one big and massive problem with most of these methods, which was that it's almost impossible to do most of these side hustles and businesses alongside with a job. As I mentioned, I didn't have the option to leave my job and start a business full time as my job was the only income I had. But despite the problem, I still decided to give it a go and went to multiple business seminars, bought mentorship programs and courses with that little money I saved up from my job with the hopes that my life will change. Now during this phase, I was filled with so much motivation because I was going to work as hard as I could so I can make this work. But unfortunately, I quickly realized that most of these business models are not easy, especially for people who have a full-time job. I had reached to a point where I had used all my savings, so I quit and carried on with my 9 to 5 life. Slowly, the same old lifestyle came back: work, home, work, home. And just as everything was coming back to normal, the world came to a standstill.
A tough new lockdown.
Lockdown. You must stay at home.
Yep, the streets were empty. You wouldn't see a thing move, not even a pin drop in the streets. It was a bizarre experience. Due to this, everyone was forced to start working from home. Now, this was the perfect opportunity for me to restart my race to escape the rat race or the matrix. I spent months trying out multiple side hustles until one day I came across reselling products on Amazon.
Amazon FBA.
Selling on Amazon, even if they don't have.
Is the best way.
And I'll be honest, initially I had the same reaction as what 99% have, which was the market is too saturated. Why would someone buy from Amazon and not AliExpress or other websites where it's cheaper? But I told myself, if this business model is still working for others, then there is definitely an opportunity there. So I grabbed my laptop, started doing endless research about how to sell on Amazon. 2 weeks passed by, and at this point, I had probably gone through every single possible Amazon-based YouTube video, but I still was scared to take any actions because I was afraid of losing money. But after 1 month, I finally decided to order my first product, and guess what? It was a failure. I lost around £400. Then I ordered another product, and guess what? That was a failure too. I lost another 120 or so pounds. However, this time I wasn't upset about losing money because I learned a really valuable lesson. See, I could have spent a year doing research about how to sell on Amazon and I still would have lost money on a product because you can never learn everything about a business before even taking any action. I learned more about selling on Amazon from these failures than I did in the whole month of research. And so I continued trying to look for different products to resell on Amazon. And the reason why I kept on going because I could do Amazon along with my job with little work as possible because Amazon helps for some of this stuff too. My main responsibility is to find a good product that sells and just send it off to them, and they take care of the rest. I went from making £1,500 a month to £10,000 a month reselling products on Amazon in less than 6 months. Now, if I was starting all over again, or this entire business again from scratch, this is exactly what I would do. Now, to make it easier to understand and implement this strategy, I'm going to break it into 4 parts, starting with £1,500. So let's begin with part 1, opening an Amazon account. So in order to open your Amazon account, you simply need to go to www.sellercentral.amazon.co.uk if you're in the UK, or .com if you're in the US, and .ca if you're in Canada, or if you're in any other country like India, it would be .in. If you're in another country, it would be something related to your country. It will cost you just £30 per month, including VAT if you're in the UK, and $40 per month if you're in the US. Now, once you have filled in the information and you have signed up, you'll be asked to book a call with Amazon's verification team, where you will need to get on a video call and show a proof of ID and a proof of address. So you could take your driver's license and a bank statement. Your account will be ready to sell on within 3 to 7 days, depending on how fast you do your verification call. The second most important part in this entire business model, and that is to find a profitable product. Luckily on Amazon, there are thousands of new products being added every single week, so the opportunity of finding new products will always be there. To find these new products first, I use a software called Jungle Scout, where I can filter the entire database of Amazon to find products that match my special filters. I also make sure the products I come across has recent reviews and has a bestsellers rank below 100,000 to ensure that product is still selling. Here's a real example product I've actually sold in the past, and as you can see, it's got recent reviews and has a bestsellers rank below 100,000. Now, there are 9 other sellers selling this exact same product, and the way I can make sure customers are buying from me most of the times is by being the cheapest seller in the buy box. And to be the cheapest seller, you need to be able to source it for the cheapest price, and for that you need a good supplier. And so let's move on to the next part, which is the most important part of this entire business model, and that is to finding a good supplier. Price of the product and reliability should be the key considerations for choosing a supplier, because reliable suppliers deliver goods or services on time and as described. Now, large suppliers are generally reliable because they have enough resources and systems in place to make sure they can still deliver if anything goes wrong. However, you can often develop a closer relationship with smaller suppliers, especially if you're their main customer. In this case, your supplier may also respond better to different requests, such as rush orders or holding on to stock. Now, the best way to find your suppliers is simply locating them online by simply Googling the product, and you will find thousands of results come up. So take your time to find the best supplier. To find a supplier that are not easy to find by everyone, go through all the pages on the search list. And a key tip I will give you is that try and speak to your supplier via call rather than emailing them, because it's better and faster than email. Once you have a good product and a good supplier, then you can continue making sales every day. And the next part is to think about scaling, which is the 4th part of the strategy. So let's discuss how you can scale to £10,000 a month. After I found success with my first product, I realized I can do this with multiple products and make thousands of pounds per month, and so I did. I made a plan to get to £10,000 a month, and then I broke down that goal, and I realized all I needed was 10 products, each making £35 a day, and that would be a total of £10,500 per month, which is crazy to think, because finding 10 products that will make you £35 a day, it's very much possible. Now, I've just laid out the entire strategy for you in 4 parts, and there's nothing stopping you from getting there now. But Jatz, I still have more questions. I'm sure you do. Every time I explain this 4-step strategy to people, they face more challenges and difficulties when they start implementing it. So since I can't answer everyone one by one, I've decided to host a free workshop explaining these 4 steps in detail without missing the secrets that gurus don't tell you. I'll be hosting it on March the 12th at 12 p.m. UK time. So if you're interested to join, click the link in the description. It's free, so no credit cards or payments is needed. In the meantime, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and turn the bells on so every time I upload, you get notified. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care and peace.